May 1990. It was a Sunday. My mom and I had just left church in our 1977 Caprice station wagon, and my 10-speed bicycle was in the back. She dropped me off on the west side of Galesburg, Illinois, along the Santa Fe, and I was sitting there with snacks and a little lunch because I was bound and determined to stay there all day if I had to, because the very first two GP60M locomotives in existence, numbers 100 and 101, were on train QNYLA. I was bound and determined I was going to see these locomotives. Now, my picture wasn't the greatest. I was 15 years old, had a little, more or less, Instamatic camera, but I was going to document the best that I could. Well, it didn't take too long. And from the distance, I heard this weird sounding horn. Didn't sound like the Leslie 3-chime horn that I normally heard on Santa Fe locomotives. And several minutes later, I see off in the distance a headlight. And it wasn't just a headlight, it was one headlight and two ditch lights. Whoa, that's interesting. And as it gets closer, I can see red on the nose. Oh man, this is going to be so cool. And then the train starts approaching me and gets closer, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? Wow. And all of a sudden, something rattled in my head. Start taking pictures, stupid! Oh, yeah. Click, 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 click. I clicked away, and I watched this impressive lash-up of a GP60M, two FP45s, and another GP60M, and a Santa Fe business car as they led the QNYLA west. It was at that point that I thought, I've never seen anything like this before, but it was a memory I'll never forget that made the GP60M my favorite locomotive of all times. Now, of course, that's from a rail fan's perspective, but from an operator perspective, well, I never ran any of those. But SD40-2s and C30-7s were my favorites to run on coal trains back in the day. But from the rail fan's perspective, watching the Santa Fe Railroad, GP60M was my thing. And I always said, I want to have a large-scale GP60M locomotive. Well, as you've been following with me for quite a while, you know what's in the works. But it's been a slow-going process. We're hitting year 6 on this thing, but what are we doing? Where are we going? Are we getting anywhere with this? I think there's enough to talk about. So, let's talk about it. Coming up next on the War Bonds channel. Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another video podcast here on the War Bonds channel. If you don't know me and you're unfamiliar with this channel, my name is Eric. I'm a locomotive engineer for U.S. Class 1 Railroad by profession, an avid model railroader, and just a lifelong rail enthusiast. Welcome to video number 26 of my series, Building a 1-inch scale Santa Fe GP60M locomotive. Today is going to be exciting as we press forward and I continue to work hard and do everything to achieve that dream of wanting to have that 1-inch scale Santa Fe GP60M locomotive. I want to give a shout out to a long-time friend of mine, Bill Nelson. He helped me out tremendously in enhancing my knowledge about my interest in the hobby and teaching me a lot, taking me under his wings. And Bill worked for a gentleman in Galesburg, Illinois, who had a business of building 1.5-inch large-scale model trains. And incidentally, the shop happened to be near the Santa Fe main line. So what was actually cool sometimes is I would have my dad drop me off at the main line, especially during the summers, maybe about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get to hang out by the tracks until about 1 o'clock when he would come and pick me up as a young teenager. And I would go over to the shop and hang out with Bill for a while and watching him build these big 1.5-inch locomotives. And they built GP50s and F7s. But these were fiberglass models. But it was really cool to watch him build these things. And that was my first exposure to the real large-scale backyard type trains. But all these years later, even though mine is only 1-inch scale, so if you put the two together, you can see the difference. But nonetheless, I have a place where I can run it. I have the ability to be able to build it, of course, with a lot of help, and we're getting closer and closer. In our last video, I showed you spraying the red on the frame. Of course, after doing some prep work and repriming, I sprayed some red. And this time, we're going to take that red off, and we're going to spray some silver. This is going to be so cool. Let's check it out. Well, I have been sick for about 2-3 days now, and I may be sick, but as my friend Justin from Train Brain 2000 says, this is sick. I got the frame here in my kitchen, and I'm actually getting ready to tape off the side sills and everything. And we are going to get everything taped off so that we can spray some silver. Actually, this should be fairly simple because all I really need to do is just tape off the side sills, the edges of the anti-climbers, both front and rear, and it should be pretty easy. I've got my O-scale GP60M. It's a Overland Models brass unit that I bought, actually, the mid-90s when I was new engineer with Chicago and Northwestern. Anyway, I still got it, and it's going to be my reference to take a look at things before we start taping off. But you know what? I'm thinking something. Blind man. Soul music. Black dude. Hey! Let's get a little Stevie Wonder going here.
Very superstitious. that you don't understand, and you suffer. The first to shine ain't the way. No, no, no.
What an adventure. Being outside spraying silver on this thing, but we got it done. So, you know, it's Christmas time. We're going to unwrap the Christmas present here. So, all right, so here we go. Oh, yeah. This really is like Christmas because I got to pick all this stuff up later. You know, this actually reminds me of wrapping presents for my kids for Christmas. I am not very good at it. So, as I said earlier, my taping isn't the greatest by any means, but it's all right. It's all good. As my late friend Doc Livingston used to say, it's all good. Okay. And that is looking good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big Papa likes it. Now, let's go down here. All right. Oh, that's nice. Nice clean line right there. And we'll just kind of pull back on the tape here. Let's see. Here we go. As I'm watching this tape come off and not pulling any paint, this makes me feel good because just jumping ahead a little bit, when it comes to the Santa Fe lettering on the side of the locomotive, I will actually be spraying the long hood and then probably use the Cricut machine to get the letters and well, a little bleed through there, but that's okay. Use the Cricut machine to cut out the letters and place the letters onto the side of the locomotive and spray the silver over it. That way, I don't have to worry about decals that have to conform onto the body, because this isn't an HO scale model where I can go to microscale or whoever makes decals these days and use all the water slide decals that will also adhere to the detail and everything. So using paint will be the best method, especially since I have details of door hinges and door latches. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, there we are. All right. All right. Very nice. All right. Big Papa likes it. That's what I'm talking about. I am truly humbled right now. Truly humbled right now. The Santa Fe lives. This GP60M frame has paint on it, and the paint looks good. I'll admit there's a couple little foo-bars, but what I am going to end up doing is eventually I will end up putting walkway tread back on it. So I will be able to cover up a couple of the little paint snafus, but you know, they're not bad. On the front end, I've got 60 pounds of plates that are actually counterweights that are going to help lower the front end, which also helps with the coupler height. And because the front end was too light, so because I have 100 pounds of batteries between the middle and the rear, so things were a little bit off balance. So we ended up putting some plates there to help counterbalance that and level the frame out. So that's underneath the cab anyway, but it's going to get covered, so I'm not too worried about that. But at least the areas where the separation between the red and the silver took place, it looks sharp, it looks good. And I did a little bit of touch up before coming back to you here, and I'm very, very excited. I'm very happy, but I accomplished what I wanted to do. This was the short-term goal in the last week or so. Once I started painting the fuel tank, got that done, I wanted to keep going. And then it was the trucks. And then I started sanding on the frame to prep it for paint. And then I said, well, let's just go ahead and go with the cab. And wow, this is awesome. But I'm going to give these things a few days to dry, and I'll probably try to bring them in my house, but at least for now, it's early enough in the day they can sit out in the garage. It's supposed to actually get up to 60 degrees today, so I'm not too worried about them sitting in the garage, but I'm sure that after a couple days and things start looking good, I will probably start putting the trucks back together permanently and attach them to the underside of the frame, reattach the fuel tank, maybe possibly hook up the electronics again. I'm not totally sure, but I had my sound amp got fried. Long story about that, but I ended up buying a new amp off of Amazon, and I'm going to have to reinstall that. So there's a few things that are going to take a little bit. So we're far from over, but I think we are definitely cresting the hill, and we're starting the downhill slope here. So things are really, really taking off here, but the Santa Fe lives. I haven't done something so major in a long time, and I've built several cars and everything, but this has been 6 years in the making, and to see that this thing actually has paint on it, man, it's great. And I sent a shout out to my friend Will, who is the one that started the fabrication on most of this here, and I sent him a shout out last night and said, hey, look where we're at, and he was thrilled. And I was scared to death when he first handed me parts and pieces
What you want me to do? What? And I just, I didn't know what to do. But, you know, by the time it was all said and done, I figured things out. I had a number of people that helped me out in this project. So we're definitely getting there. And like I said, we're over the hump here. I think things are really looking good. And I'm just going to put everything aside for a day or two, maybe, and let this dry and then kind of think about the next steps on this project. But I really appreciate all of you who have stuck with me from the beginning on this channel. And it's been great to continue to bring this progress to you. And I know it's been a long time. I know there's people that can get things done way, way faster than I can. But how many people out there have GP60Ms that they're building from scratch, especially when they don't know what they're doing? But I guess I must have learned a little something. If you like this content, I just really invite you to hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, we're on a roll here, and we're going to keep this going. And until the next time, that's the way it is. And keep the shiny side up.